folks, Colin here, back with more rock and roll. Good to see you as always. So last week we were looking at triads. I'm going to build a little bit on it this week. I'm going to reference songs, lots of songs that I've broken down previously on the channel, and I'll put the links to those in the description. But it's really, the idea is to try and tie these songs and the underlying musical principles together so that you can kind of understand how the guitar works better if you're fairly new in the lead guitar journey. And once you get the hang of this, it kind of sorts out everything else. It ties all the scales, all the chords, everything sort of links together, and the triads are a good way of doing it. So last week we looked at the D shape. So if you remember, if you take the D chord, so it's only a D chord when it's at the bottom of the fretboard. That shape, we call that the D shape, and when it's at the bottom of the fretboard on the second fret, it is the chord of D. But if you move it up 2 frets, it becomes an E chord, because the root is on the second string, that's a note of D. That becomes an E. So that becomes an E chord using a D shape. And we talked about how in a key, the first note of the scale is always a major when it's harmonised. The fourth note is a major when it's harmonised, and the fifth note is a major. So in the key of D, the one is D, that B. So it's the D chord we know and love. So it's D, F sharp and A. 1 on the second string, 3 on the top string, and 5 on the third string. So if we move that up to the 7th fret, that becomes a G, and a 9th fret becomes an A. But it's just the same shape. And the ones in between we spoke about, the 2 being minor. So instead of using the D major shape, we use the D minor shape. So you imagine a D minor, move that up. I always play it with my pinky on the second string so I can see where the root is. And that is the E, so that becomes an E minor. F sharp minor at the 7th fret, when your pinky's at the 7th fret. G, A, B minor, C sharp minor, D. And we spoke about, well, you don't have to play all the 3 notes, but it's good because it gives you like a framework to play tunes out of. The other one we looked at was out of the top part of the E-shaped bar chord. And this one we call, we've got the root on the top, so we're playing a G. G would be the 3rd fret of the E string. D would be the 3rd fret of the B string, and B would be the 4th fret of the G string. And because you've got your 3rd on the bottom, it's called a first inversion, because your root is on the top. So the 5th's generally above the 1, so the 5th in this case is on the 2nd string, and the 3rd is on the bottom. Now if we wanted to make that minor, we'd bring our 3rd down a fret. And the same principle applies, so if we're in the key of G now, and G is the 1, A is the 2nd, so that becomes minor. So that's 5, 5, 5, so it's 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. The 3rd is minor as well, so that's 7, 7, 7, that's B minor. Our 4th, the C, is major, so think of that shape. But we've got a raised 3rd here. You see how you can just make little riffs out of these triads, it's amazing. So now up 2 frets to the D, the 5th is, so it's major again. And then the 6th is minor. And then the 7th is minor again. And back to 1, which is major. So you can just make little tunes out of these intervals. It's really handy. The last one we looked at last week was it's basically based around the A shape, but this has got the 1 on the bottom, so they call it the root triad. So same idea, major. Now we're playing a D. So I've got my A on the top, that's the 5th. I've got my D on the bottom at the 7th fret of the G string, that's the 1st. And then I've got my F sharp on the 7th of the B string, that's the 3rd. I want to make that minor. I drop that 3rd down. So we're going to go major for 1, minor for 2, minor for 3, major for 4, major for 5, minor for 6, minor for 7, and then I'll run out of frets. I can't really play it too high up there. I never get up this all that often, to be honest. So anyway, back to 1. The first riff I think I learnt around these chords was Substitute, which is in the key of D, and it starts on the D like that. And it's just using those little triads that I've learnt. So 5, 7, 7. Sorry, 5, 7, 7. Back to D. A, which is 5, 5, 6. G, which is 3, 3, 4. And back to the D. So that's quite handy. The other one was when I learnt Folsom Prison. Another one. Put the tab down below, but going to the E triad here, which is just your E chord, then we're just going to play triads again. So playing our A, but instead of having the A open string, we're going to put a 5th on the top string, and that's the triad we looked at before. And the A at the 9th fret, so a D shape A. So it's all in these classic tunes. Same with Heartbeat, it's all the same. I'll put the link down below. So so the other 2 triads which are really important, which I'm going to come on to today, are on the next set of strings. So basically it's just a continuation of the triads we've looked at already. So if we're playing that first triad, which is a root triad, if we extend it down a string, we're back to a 2nd inversion, which is based around the A shape we know and love. So we've moved that up to the 7th fret. That becomes a D triad as well. So same thing, if we're down here, if it was an A, if we wanted to make it an A minor, we drop the 3rd. So up here, D, D minor. Same idea, 1, 2, 3. So that's major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and back to major. Sorry, there we go. So this one's really handy. So if you're doing things like if you're playing in the key of A, you can hear this sort of thing a lot. That type of thing where you're actually playing the 1 and then you're sliding up to the 3rd. Now the other thing I was going to point out is that the A shape is super handy because it's, if you're playing a major pentatonic scale, that's 1st position. So we all know the major pentatonic scale. So that would be 5, 2, 5, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 5. And you can mix these little triads together with that scale. So I was going up to D. Same sort of idea, just I'm in the first position, D major pentatonic, and again the relative minor works as well, so you're actually kind of in the B minor bar area. B minor, D. Never want to go to G. Then back to D. A. D. And when you're playing the D shape, you're in pattern 4, so just think of pattern 4, the pentatonic scale. So you can see that these scales are all linked to the actual triad shapes, and I'm going to do more of that next week, but that's probably enough information for today, because these are the key principles of playing the guitar. If you can kind of get these, if you can understand these principles, your guitar playing will just go through the roof, and you'll be able to jam with other musicians because you just follow the chords and you play triads and scales, and you get to know there's kind of archetypal riffs as well, and I'll cover those next week also. Okay folks, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Please leave me a comment, any questions on the content, happy to answer those. See you next time, keep rocking.